There were two reasons that we decided to do this massive project to move and expand our vegetable garden to the sunnier part of our property. One was the trees to the south were shading the garden, and the second was the bunnies and the deer, but mostly the bunnies. There's almost nothing I can plant in the garden that is not considered a free meal for the rabbits and the deer. Everything has to be wrapped in cages until it gets too big for them to reach it. For the previous vegetable garden, that meant each year I had to string wire around each individual vegetable bed. Impossible? No. Pain in the ass? Absolutely yes. And it made it harder to both weed and harvest the beds. So this time, I wanted a garden that was completely surrounded by a fence. There would be no hole for any creature to get in. The deer technically could jump the fence, but I figured all the obstacles on the other side would dissuade them. But we didn't just want any plain old fence. We had a whole winter to think and talk about it, and possibly because we had watched too many British garden shows depicting beautiful rose-covered walled gardens, we decided a live fence would be way nicer than just a basic metal structure. And that led to the fence beds. We came up with a design for a 5-foot-high fence supported by 2-by-8-foot perennial beds wrapped in chicken wire, where roses and clematis could ramble happily and eventually, hopefully, cover up the chicken wire. The fence also works as a trellis for peas and tomatoes. It's a great idea. I just didn't anticipate that it would take so long. We started last fall just to get a leg up, but we couldn't finish until the surface of the garden was complete, and the tractor needed full access for that. And we couldn't finish the surface until it stopped raining and dried out a bit, and that pushed this part of the project right into May. Of course, due to the wet nature of the property, we also had to make sure that the wood was not sitting on the ground, so pavers came first, and for better or for worse, we decided not to cement the posts into the ground. It was just going to be way too much work. We're banking on the weight of the beds to support the overall structure. Each bed is attached to the next, and the middle is supported with cross posts. The bottoms are open to the ground, but lined with more chicken wire, and the sides are lined with plastic. Sticks and leaves were placed first, and then cardboard, then triple mix, and then compost making up the final layer. The final touch was attaching the chicken wire to the posts. I truly hate working with chicken wire, but it's so freaking cheap and useful. On top of that, we also had to build the deck connecting the sheds, the covers for the ugly stacked IBCs, the outdoor workbench, and the windbreak wall on the west side. I tell ya, I wanted this garden to be done right. The gates were the final step, and we still have some tweaking of them to do, but for the most part, the garden is now bunny-proof. And when it was done, it changed the whole feel of the garden. The first time we sat down here, with the fountain in front and the garden and the finished fence beds behind, it felt so comfortable. It was amazing. Not caged in like you might think, but comfortable. This is a place to hang out in. It's a place to come with your morning coffee and just sit and enjoy. Yes, it's a place to work, but it's so beautiful to be in this space. It's a beautiful, happy accident, and I'm really, really pleased with it. The ease of which I could plant my vegetables that I'd started from seed without having to cage against the bunnies was a revelation. The battle still continues against the bunnies out in the garden, but here, it is calm and secure. Cheers. The first time